Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Shots from the Bench. It's only sports talk, and of course, all opinions are both fabulous and flawed. I'm Bob Wiltman. My co-host is Bob Murphy. Greg Malinzuk, our producers behind the scene, running the cameras, running the microphone, and giving us a lot of feedback, and I mean literally getting a lot of feedback through the mic. But that's okay. We're here at Gators Dockside in the beautiful Brownwood section of the Villages. Gators Dockside, they have the tastiest sports in town. We're here every Tuesday night from 6 to 7, so come on in, over, around, or up, wherever you got to do, get in here. We'd love to have you join us for the show. If you can't make it, you can always watch us on the internet, www.shotsfromthebench.com. And remember, we are the only sports talk show in the Villages. And partner, while I know the NFL season is in the gear and college football is going great, I'm a baseball fan, and this is it's getting down to rug cutting time here.
So you're all excited about Tim Tebow? Is that what you're saying?
I am excited about Tim Tebow.
That is what you wanted to talk about, right?
Well, we are going to talk about Tim Tebow, but he hasn't started yet. We'll see how he does in Port St. Lucie. What I want to do?
He's got to get by the instructional league first, right?
I want to talk about what looks like a couple of Jim Dandy races in the National League. Let's talk the National League first. Mm-hmm. You got three teams that are basically stacked on top of each other playing for the wild card. The Giants, the Mets, the Cardinals. The Mets, I still think, because I think they've got some character, are going to pull it out. But I've never seen a team come down with more key injuries to key players in the last 4 weeks of a season. It's ridiculous, and they're still making it work.
They still keep losing players, one after the other. Pitchers.
They've lost Steven Matz. They've lost DeGrom. They've lost,
of course, Harvey for the season.
Neil Walker. It's amazing to me.
And then they bring this kid up from the minor leagues, and he's tearing up the National League in the last 2 weeks. T.J. Rivera at second base.
And now he's hurt.
He's hurt?
I thought he was hurt.
No, I didn't think so. No.
Oh, I thought Rivera got hurt too.
No, he's slight. Nothing major that's going to happen.
Okay. Well, that's good.
But anyway, so the Cologne is their best pitcher.
Cologne. Get me started on Cologne. If they make the playoffs, and I mean, if they make the wild card and they win the wild card especially, and he pitches and gets them in, you could make every argument in the world why he should be the MVP. He's the reason that the Mets are where they are right now, even with all the talent they've gotten and lost. But I would really, really love to see somebody reward somebody for actually being valuable. And it doesn't get any more valuable. If they get to the playoffs, I guarantee you he'll pitch the wild card game if they get in it. And if he's able to win that, he deserves so many things. That's just amazing. I think he's had a year.
Absolutely.
Nobody talks about it. It's amazing. 43 years old. 43. The current active the most wins of any pitcher in baseball, and he's still going strong, and he's still winning big games for him. So.
And of course, the reason we're always talking about the wild card is because pretty much these other races are locked up. I mean, the Nationals.
Well, they are.
Nationals have pretty much the Cubs clinched their division. The Nationals are going to clinch.
And the Dodgers basically.
The Dodgers,
well, they're 5 up. I think they're 5 up, and they got Kershaw back. And I see they got Puig playing. I think they called him up.
Yeah, he got into it with Madison Bumgarner last night. There was almost a fight.
Oh, he gave it a bat flip. That's one of the favorite.
That. Yeah, they almost came to blows.
If I was a pitcher and I gave up a home run to a player like Puig, I wouldn't like it. And if he threw a bat on top of it,
I don't think too many players like Yasiel Puig.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Good for him. You're right.
He's a whole nother show.
He's a whole nother show. Players that we wish would get out of the league. Actually, I'm glad he looks. I see if he learns his lesson. I think they handled that the right way by taking him and just shipping him off. Hey, all I know is they were losing to the Giants by 4 or 5 games when they sent him down. Now they've got almost got the division clinched. Somebody did something right. I'm not saying that he's the reason, but can't you imagine that you got the Dodgers, the Nationals, and the Cubs? But I just love it because I think the Mets. Everybody's going to be rooting for the Mets. Everything that can possibly go wrong for your team has gone wrong, and they still keep winning games. they still keep. I mean, they're still in the driver's seat here. I think they're gonna. I think they're the one sure thing of the three teams.
But I'll tell you,
make the
when
playoffs.
they're trending that way, but they've won 20 out of their last 28. But
that's
when
pretty darn good in the dog days. That's September.
Sure. But I mean, anything happened from here on out. With 12 games to go, with one game ahead, you could lose 2 or 3 in a row and be totally out of it.
But they battle, and like I said,
they do battle. It's unbelievable how they battle.
So, like I said, they need.
I think if they make the wild card, certainly if they were to win that wild card game, you'd have to say, and I know my producer doesn't care for Terry Collins much, but with what he's had to work with, it's amazing.
Yeah, well, I actually was singing Terry's praises in our show in Leesburg, and he shot me down, our producer, that is. Told me how silly I was to think Terry Collins. He said, despite Terry Collins, the Mets are winning games. So you're shot down too.
I'll tell you, look at the injuries. My God. I mean, most of your starting pitching has been out at one time or another or out for the season. You've had position players, Duda and Wright, Lagares, Walker now for the season. I mean, yet they keep plugging these guys in, and they're making – they may not be tearing the cover off the ball, but they're getting clutch hits, clutch home runs. Guys like Gratterson, who you don't like.
My favorite.
You don't like him.
He got 3 hits last night.
But my goodness, he's hit some very – we're not going to say the word, are we? Clutch home runs.
He has.
And we all in the last week or two that have really won games at the right time. You know, let's call it. We won't use the word clutch.
I like
timely.
230 hitters.
Hitting.
230 hitters are always hitting clutch hits because they never hit it.
But you don't expect a guy hitting 220 to come in and hit timely hits like that.
No, you don't.
But they've had it happen, and so if they can continue, I mean, you look at it and you go, they can't continue this. They can't. Now they got DeGrom going off. Possibly lost for the season.
That's all right. They will find a way. I'm still thinking they're going to make it. I think they'll make it. I think they're a surer bet than either St. Louis or San Francisco.
So of course, the winner of the wild card gets the Cubs, like we said, and that's the best team in baseball.
That's probably the party's over there.
It's probably a mute point who's going to get to be the wild card.
Party's over after that. But I'll tell you, while we're talking, just as exciting as the American League wild card thing, now you've got the Sox. And I've been watching the Red Sox, like I said, where I'm standing. Guys always got the Sox on, and one of their top 7 hitters always hits a home run in the first or 2 innings.
That's right.
I mean, they got 3. They're always up 3-0.
Yeah, they're the hottest team in the American League for sure.
And I guess they're that good. I mean, but you come up with Pedroia's hitting 320, and you got Bogarts, and you got Ortiz, and you got Betts and Hanley Ramirez, and they're all hitting the cover off the ball. And Chris Young's hitting 290, and Shaw's got 20 homers, and Jackie Bradley. I mean, good grief! I thought everybody they bring up, and their catcher, this no offense, but this fat catcher they brought up who couldn't hit the ball in the minor leagues has 250 at bats and is hitting 335. I mean, he never hit the ball in the infield in his life. Yeah. He's hitting 335.
Baltimore, they're 4 games up on Baltimore with 12 to play.
They're pulling away.
Yeah.
And
now that wild card
is
just as crazy as the National
League.
No
you question.
Got Baltimore and Toronto pretty much tied for the number 1 spot. And then you got Detroit 2.5 back, Houston, Seattle 3 back.
Yeah.
Yankees have fallen.
Well, they ran into the Boston buzzsaw. I got Boston's. They were hitting the ball out of the park. It didn't make any difference who was pitching. They were locked in. Ramirez. I never saw anybody hit the ball that hard every time he came up, and I didn't think he was that great a hitter. No offense.
It looks like, I mean, right now, unless one of these 2 wild card teams, Baltimore and Toronto, make a run and knock Boston out of there. They're definitely, those are your 3 playoff teams, Boston, Baltimore, and Toronto. Baltimore and Toronto for the wild card for sure.
Boston's got Toronto the last 3 games of the year in Boston, but I don't know if that matters. But the fact is, if Boston can hang around within 2 or 3 games, it's going to be right there.
If they can get within 1, then they'd have a shot. But if they're 2 out, that's going to be awful hard.
Yeah, that's going to be hard. There's no question about it. Yeah. So we'll see where they get to. But, I mean, that's the carrot they have. They got and Tampa Bay's sitting there with licking their chops because they get to play. They got 4 games against the Red Sox in Tampa Bay, and I guarantee you they would like nothing better after this year they've had than to knock the Red Sox.
It's interesting how you can have a bad season, but you want to play spoiler in a game like that. You get your players do get up for that, don't they?
No question about it.
Yeah.
And they got some pitchers, Odorizzi and Archer. They got some pitchers that can get it done, but they also have some pitchers that get shellacked. So we'll see where it goes.
As a Mets fan, I spent many a season in that position, being a losing team, just wanting to play spoiler, looking for something.
You got to have something to play for, but
that's right.
So we'll see what gives. But I think that is especially just as we were talking with Greg last week. This is really one of the coolest things in baseball could have done is have a wild card, and because it's really playing out.
It gave us something to talk about.
That's where the interest. I mean, with these runaway divisions, there wouldn't be much to talk about. Now these guys are, every game matters. That as trite as that sound, it does now. So,
and they're not dragging it out. They're making it a one-game playoff. I think that's decent. I think that's fine. If you're the number one wild card team, then you play home. You play at home.
Sure.
If you're number two, you play on the road.
Oh, and one of the things I wanted to mention to you, and I mentioned to Greg off camera, it looks like they're trying to groom this relief pitcher from the Orioles for Cy Young. And I don't know if I'm willing to give a relief pitcher who's 45 out of 45 in saves with a microscopic ERA. I don't think 45 innings or 15 innings should qualify you for the Cy Young, my personal opinion. I don't know what your take is on it, but
it has happened before, hasn't it? Didn't it happen before?
Probably once before. I think
didn't Rolling Fingers win the Cy Young?
Yeah, but he pitched. Rolling Fingers pitched 120 innings.
Okay.
He would come and pitch 2 innings every time he pitched. And I think Suter won at one time. Maybe even Gossage did. I can't remember. But no, I was just curious what your take is because Porcello's 21-3.
I don't think they should get it. No.
But we'll see. It's either Porcello or Britton, and we'll see who they give it to. And in the National League, like I said, you got 3 Cubs pitchers, either Kendricks, Arrieta, or Lester. Take your pick. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, I think
3 Cy Young candidates
should be the guys with the most durability, the guys that are putting in the time. And the innings over, that's what really makes the Cy Young Award. That's what it's based on.
Kendrick's ERA is like a half run less than everybody else, and he's won like 1 or 2 games less.
Right.
Well, we'll see. I'll tell you what, that is going to wrap it up for the first quarter here. Shots from the bench, but Bob and I will be back. We got a lot more to talk about. Pro football, college football, the Ryder Cup. We got a lot on the agenda, so stick with us. We'll be right back after this.
1 week from today, NBA training camps open up.
NBA
1 week from today. Picks, and maybe make our new picks. Picks.
We are back with the second quarter. Shots from the bench here at beautiful Gators Dockside in the beautiful Brownwood section of the Villages. Gators Dockside, they got the tastiest sports in town. And now it is, without further ado, it's NFL time.
It is.
And before we get in, I know you've got an awful lot, but this is something that I think we got to discuss for at least a minute as I put my specs on to read it. But
all right.
The NFL has fined the Seattle Seahawks $400,000 and Coach Pete Carroll $200,000 for violating the NFLPA work rules prohibiting excessive contact in off-season workouts. So they had to give up a 5th-round pick next year and the first week of 2017 organized activity. I'd love to know who came up with these punishments, but if you really think anybody's going to make Pete Carroll pay $200,000, I don't think Seattle's going to do that. I think Seattle will pick it up.
Because they were having, in off-season workouts, too much contact?
Yes, they weren't allowed to have, they had off-season contacts or contact workouts, and you're not supposed to.
Well,
so it's tongue-in-cheek.
I would have to believe that the NFL Players Association would have to have some sort of rule stating that because of the injury factor and so forth.
Absolutely, you're right.
That I think that's probably why that would happen, right?
No question about it. I mean, but I just was laughing because, and I was looking at Seattle hasn't exactly been romping their way through the league so far, and I just think, well,
Well, that's our biggest surprise so far after 2 weeks of the season is Seattle, I think. I didn't want to jump the gun.
No, well, you're not jumping the gun, but I'll tell you what, they were like my pick to go to the Super Bowl. They can't score. They scored three points on the Rams for crying out loud.
Last year they started off slow.
And I can't remember that. Is that right?
They started off slow, and they really
they just turned it on.
The problem is their offensive line. They're not getting any. I mean, Russell Wilson's running around with his,
Well, he's getting hurt. I know he's got hit a few times.
Yeah, he's got hit a lot.
That's not going to do them.
So he's trying to play street ball.
That team needs him in the lineup. They need him in the lineup desperately. But I know you did I got sidetracked with it, but I just thought that was an interesting tidbit. I was on the paper. But let's talk a little bit about what happened over the past weekend.
Yeah, like I said, the Seahawks were the biggest surprise for us. Let's quickly go over what we had picked.
All right.
We're surprised, some things that surprised both of us.
This isn't what I was hoping we'd do because I don't think I'm going to get a good report card this week.
No, we both are pretty bad.
All right.
Okay. The first week we were 11-5. Okay, we were doing pretty good.
I don't think that matters.
Oh yeah, well it matters to the total for the season.
Yeah, all right. Well.
All right. The first game we both picked Buffalo. We both picked Buffalo.
All right.
And you know what? I was going to pick the Jets, but you go, oh, no, don't pick. So you talked me out of it.
He's throwing somebody under the bus.
talked me out of it.
I did or Greg?
Because I felt the Jets were ready to go win that game.
Who threw you under?
Games
who
I
are
won
you
against
throwing
my
under
better
the bus?
judgment.
I want to know who's being thrown under the bus, me or Greg?
Greg.
Oh, okay, then that's
Greg,
fine.
for
Yeah,
sure.
you're right.
Absolutely.
He talked you out of it. There's no question.
I'm going to throw him again in a minute. Okay, that's number one.
Well, I just overestimated Rex Ryan.
All right, so there you go.
Well,
Greg
that's another story. Rex and Rob Ryan, should they be coach and coordinator for an NFL team?
Rob Ryan.
No,
Rob Ryan. I forgot about.
Oh, that's another story.
All right, well, that's bitter.
Game number 2
we lost
week.
that one.
Game number 2, we picked Carolina. Of course, they beat San Francisco.
Thank you.
Here's the one we differed on. The first one we differed on. I took Dallas. You took Washington.
Yes. And Dallas came through at the end.
Dak Prescott showed himself well in that game.
Yes, he did.
But we basically were tied in the different ones that we were doing, so we didn't really beat each other up too badly.
That's like kissing your sister. I'm not liking that.
We both took Pittsburgh, of course, at home against Cincy.
Boy, that was a great one.
We both took the Giants over the Saints.
Good for us.
We both took the Patriots over the Dolphins.
Good for us. Now we're getting. Now wait a minute. The fun. All of a sudden, I can see where this is going.
We both took the Patriots over the Dolphins. Okay. I took the Texans at home.
I know.
You took KC.
Yes. And Texans spanked them. They spanked
yeah.
Kansas City, and they're going to end up doing what they did last year. Watch, they'll win their last 8 or something.
Now you're going to hear my bad ones.
Yeah.
I have a couple of. I went against my better judgment, especially on not this one, but the next one. I picked the Lions at home.
And I took the Titans.
Tennessee.
And the Lions were favored.
You did.
So I think I should get like 2 points instead of 1.
I think you should too. I really do. Okay, and then we both took the Ravens at home, playing at the
That was
Browns.
a close one.
We knew they were going to do that. Oh, here's one we got beat up bad on.
Oh no!
You know which one?
San Diego.
No, we took the Seahawks at. The Rams.
We said
the Rams. The Rams won that game. We didn't think there was any way they were going to win that game.
Rams have 9 points in 2 games, and they're 1-1.
I mean, whoever thought the Seahawks would be in this much disarray? They scored 3 points.
I didn't see it happening at all, and that was at home.
Didn't see it coming.
Wasn't that at home? It was in Seattle.
No, they played at Los Angeles.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
No, you're right. That was the homecoming or the welcome back game. That's right. Yeah.
Here's where I definitely went against my better. I always pick the Cardinals. And I saw. What's his name? Quarterback for Bucs.
Jameis Wilson.
Jameis Winston.
Winston.
This first game, I got fooled.
You got fooled. He deceived
you. He had an awful game. His second game, they went into Arizona and lost 40-7. Congratulations. I should never have taken them.
That's bitter.
No, I would never pick them. That's a game I know better. But anyway, I just thought Jameis might come through. Maybe he reached superstar stardom.
He may turn it around next week. You never know. He's like Bortles. You don't know what you're going to get. You don't.
We both took the Jags at the Chargers.
That was a bad pick.
That was a bad pick.
Bortles. I thought Bortles was
Phillip
ready.
Rivers. Why are we against Phillip Rivers? I don't know.
He's been playing a long time with no championship.
Done
That's
nothing
why
but
I'm
play
against
well
him.
the whole time we've seen
You're
him.
right. He's not bad.
We both took the Raiders
Ooh,
with the Falcons.
yeah, but
now
that was. But
whoever saw
the
Matt
Falcons.
Ryan
The
come up with a
Falcons.
game like
no.
that, 4 touchdown passes.
Yeah. Plus, he threw like a deflected pass
Oh,
that
my
was
God.
caught for a touchdown.
We didn't see that one.
No, you can't see.
Okay. Now the last two we saw the Broncos beating the Colts.
Cool.
We saw the Vikings and the Packers. Although that could have gone either way. You know, we did see it. We knew it would be close, and they won a close game, 17. I mean, how about Sam Bradford? The game he played.
Sam Bradford
I never thought he'd play like that.
Sam Bradford, just like Jameis Winston. The minute you think, okay, next week, boys, Sam Bradford will come out with a dog-do game. So why don't we just – I'm going to give him credit. He was outstanding. He was outstanding last week.
And then the last game, we really blew it last night. We picked the Bears at home.
Dub Bears.
With the Eagles.
They're hideous.
They lose 29-14.
That was about as – and that was with a punt return for a touchdown. Can you imagine?
The moral of the story is we're not going to pick the Bears anymore this year. Okay? And,
what happens when they play somebody that we always pick and they never win either?
I don't know.
That's all right.
So we went 9-7 this year. So we are officially – I'm going to keep track of this all year because I want to see if there's –
So we're both 9-7?
We're both
20
20 and 12. That's
20 and
not bad.
12 is great.
20
and 12 is great.
Yeah, we're we could have been a lot better. Anyway, so that's where we are. Now I got
I
this
took
week's picks
Tennessee.
I want to get off my
I took
chest. This is going to be the hardest week to pick a game. Let me tell you, this is going to be the hardest.
This will be easy.
Listen to this. Listen to these games.
All right.
These are tough. Thursday night,
Okay.
the Texans are playing at the Patriots without Jimmy Garoppolo.
I take the Patriots right now.
I'm going to take the Texans right now.
Julian Edelman is going to be the backup quarterback.
Julian Edelman will probably throw a touchdown and catch a touchdown.
Is he serious?
Oh, yeah. He's their
The
backup.
receivers, no way.
He was a quarterback in
The
college.
receiver is going to be the backup quarterback.
Well,
I'm
it was-
taking the Texans with their defense.
All right. We're splitting.
And, of course, Brock Osweiler. We can't go against Brock.
Anybody named Brock
I just don't
Osweiler.
think the Patriots are depleted. They're too depleted for me. I'm going.
You're
I'm
going
with
against
the Patriots.
Belichick. Okay.
All right, I am. Okay, game number 2. Ravens at Jacksonville.
At Jacksonville,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take the Jaguars. I don't
You
think the
are.
Ravens are very good. They beat the Bills by 6. They lucked out because Terrell Pryor got a taunting call with 20 seconds left to go in the game, which was pathetic.
Okay.
And
Okay, we're both going to pick that one.
all right,
I'll be with you on that one.
good.
Here's one I think that's relatively easy for us. I think we both would agree on this one. Redskins at Giants.
Redskins at Giants. I'll tell you what. I'll take the Skins. How about that?
Goody.
I'm trying to
I'm
get
different than you.
trying to
I'm
get
taking
some.
the Giants
I like
for
the
sure.
phrase. I'm trying to get some separation. Separation. That's all we want.
All
Just
right.
want a little separation
Very
between.
good. I'm glad. I'm glad. All
I took
right,
the Titans, by the way, and they won.
Here's a really easy one. Lions at Packers.
Why is that easy?
You don't think that's easy?
Oh well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to go take the Packers
Okay.
because nobody else beats them up in Green
I'm
Bay
gonna
except
take
the
them, too.
Vikings.
I'm going to take them too because the Packers are not going to be in a good mood after losing to the Vikings. Here's another easy one, I think. Browns at Dolphins.
You think the Dolphins are that good, huh? Okay, I'll take the
Oh, yeah.
Dolphins. I'm
Much
taking
better
the
than the
Dolphins
Browns.
because it's
Much-
in Miami.
much better.
Oh,
I mean-
well, you know what? It just occurred to me, and we were
I
talking.
think the Browns and the Bears are,
the
brother
Browns.
and sister.
The Browns don't even have a quarterback that's taken a snap in the NFL playing that game because McCown got hurt.
McCown,
So
yeah.
no, definitely. Now that I think
Right.
of it, the Dolphins should beat them by
Okay.
4 touchdowns.
Here's a very tough game. Vikings at Panthers.
At Panthers,
Mm-hmm.
I'll take the Panthers.
I'm going to take the Panthers too,
Yeah.
even though they're my team.
Yeah, it is. That's a tough game.
Yep. What else do we got here? We got the Broncos at the Bengals. That's a tough game.
Wow, that's a really tough game.
Bengals need to win that game. Well, they 0-2? Yeah.
No, the Bengals beat.
Did they the first week?
They beat Jets by 1 point, I think,
In the first week, that's
game.
right. So they're 1-1.
I'm going to take the Bengals.
You take the Bengals at home
Yeah.
against the Broncos. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to do the same thing.
I just feel it. I don't, you know.
I just think at home. That's the only reason I picked them. Cardinals at the Bills. You got to be an easy one.
At the Bills. Well, they just fired their offensive coordinator.
Roman.
Yeah, that's too
Scott
bad.
Roman.
Yeah, that was
a story.
That was a stupid thing. In fact, I'll tell you what.
Friday they did that. We didn't talk about that.
And I'll tell you what. This will
Roman.
yeah, this will be the last one on this quarter. So I'll tell you what. We're going to come back. We'll do a cliffhanger on this one, but we're going to come back with the second half, the third quarter shots on the bench, and we'll see where we're going with this pick and what we're going to tell you about Roman. What's his first name again? Greg
Roman.
It's going to be Greg Roman. So we're going to be talking about all that, and we'll be back here at Gators Dockside right after that.
Especially the way it went down was kind of weird.
We are back. We come bounding down the runway for the second half here. Shots from the bench here at beautiful Gators Dockside in the beautiful Brownwood section of the Villages. And partner, we were talking about a pick on the Bills game, and I got sidetracked. Sorry about that. But I just think that the firing of Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator of the Bills, after losing 2 games as they did, I think is probably the cheesiest thing I've ever seen. We talk about throwing somebody that wasn't even involved and throwing them under the bus. Like, well, if they had a better offense, they would have won both games.
Right.
Nothing could be further from the truth, in my estimation.
Well, the way it went down is weird too.
Yeah.
The owners met with the team, certain offensive players, Tyrod Taylor and others.
Yeah,
and they and what's his name wasn't even there. Rex Ryan wasn't even there.
That's not how you do it.
I mean, why wouldn't Rex Ryan be there? It's his offensive coordinator. Obviously, it wasn't something Rex Ryan approved of. Yeah, because he's next.
No, he's not next.
He could be next.
They're afraid. If they win one of these games coming up, he'll ride 1-6 into the sunset. He won't be fired.
But the way they did it was kind of odd to not have your coach
cheesy.
there.
Gutless is what it is. It's not odd. It's
the owners meet with certain offensive players and discuss the firing of Greg Roman.
That's a shame.
Really weird.
That's really a shame.
This could be a foretaste of things to come in Buffalo. They seem to be spinning their wheels a little bit right now.
Well, they're one big win from maybe getting back in the saddle. But okay, who are they playing again?
Oh, they're playing. The Cardinals are playing at the Bills. That's not good. That doesn't bode well, folks.
I'll tell you what. We'll see what their new offensive coordinator.
Who are you going to pick?
I'm going to take Arizona.
Okay, well you went out on a limb on that one. Okay, me too.
I just think that the offensive coordinator, if Buffalo scores 30 points again and loses, I guess they'll fire the new guy.
Okay, we're getting into some really tough games here. Here we go.
Right.
Here we go.
Bring it on.
Raiders at Titans. That's a tough game.
That is a tough game.
Especially, we picked against the Titans once already. Or no, you picked them.
I picked them.
They get a good defense and a good running game. And
Mariota
is not a bad
I agree with you, but in this game, I'm going to go against, even though they bailed me out last week, I'm going to take the Raiders.
I always seem to pick the Raiders. I always tell you all the time, Derek Carr and Amari Cooper and the running game.
They're pretty productive. They scored 34 points last week.
You're going to go with the Raiders?
I am. Yes.
I'm going to go with the Titans at home.
I like it. That's a good pick.
Okay. Right. Rams at Bucks.
You got it. Come on.
The Rams have a good defense.
The Rams have a good defense, but they have.
Jameis Winston is going to throw 4 interceptions in this game as well. And
my guess is that the Rams will not score a touchdown in this game either. I think that the Bucks will beat them and keep them off the scoreboard. The Rams got to do something to score.
I got to pick the Bucks too. I think they need to rebound. I think they will.
I'm saying like 28-6 or something. I can't see the Rams doing it.
Here's this one a week ago or so, 2 weeks ago, would not have been a hard game to pick.
What's that?
But this one all of a sudden becomes a hard game to pick. The 49ers at Seattle.
Boy, that is a hard game to pick.
You know what I mean? You wouldn't have thought that 2 weeks ago, would
Seattle's got their backs against the wall, and I just don't know that. I don't know that Blaine Gabbert. He might be the best option they've got at quarterback.
Sure.
But I would definitely think that Seattle would come out pistols blazing in that game.
The problem I see here is the the leaky offensive line of
pretty bad.
Seattle.
And San Francisco's got
has a pretty good defensive line.
I couldn't agree with you more.
I mean, certainly Russell Westbrook will be running for his life. That's a tough big. I'm only going to pick them because they're home.
That's as good a reason as you can. In the NFL, that's what you should do. Yeah. But I think 49ers.
Here's one that you'll be interested in. The Steelers at
the
Eagles. Both Pennsylvania games.
It's going to be very close. And I know everybody's on the, what's his name, Wentz?
Carson
Wentz bandwagon. So far, he beat a really bad Chicago team.
Right.
And before that, he didn't do so well. I think
he beat the Browns before that.
He beat the Browns by a couple.
So he won his first 2 games as an NFL quarterback.
Well, we'll find out.
His stats aren't unbelievable.
We'll find out if they're any good or not. I mean, Steelers are healthy. They're coming into these games.
Right.
I mean, they're missing Le'Veon Bell still, but all their players are healthy.
Yep.
If they can't go into Philadelphia and beat them, then they're not as good as they think they are. But I'm going to take the Steelers.
Okay. I have to agree with you there. Jets at Chiefs. Tough game.
That is a tough game. It's really tough.
It's not getting easier as the weeks go by.
All right, and
this is some of the toughest ones.
I think the Chiefs have to win that game, and I'm not sure that. I think the Jets are. Well, they're disappointing me so far, but that's a really tough game to pick. But I'll take the Chiefs because they're home.
You're going to take the Chiefs. I'm going to take the Jets.
That's a good pick. I can't. The Jets may.
I think Ryan Fitzpatrick has really played. That offense is very prolific. With Matt Forte as the runner, the offensive line is playing well.
I think
they can't be counted out. I think the Chiefs are in a little bit of a disarray right now.
I can't deny that.
I'm going to go with the Jets at the Chiefs.
Not a bad pick.
All right. Chargers at Colts.
Boy, that's 2 disappointing teams, although the Chargers did romp against Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. At the Colts, again, the Colts can't be this bad. Are they? Maybe they are. But they're playing like dogs. There's a coach. Greg and I were talking about coaches on the hot seat. That guy's on the big hot seat. If they come out of the blocks 0-5 or something, you can bet he'll be out. I'm going to take the Colts to win that game.
You take the Colts to win.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Phillip Rivers and the Chargers.
Not a
win
bad
that game.
I can't deny it. That's a good choice. I like mine better.
At the Colts. This one's a relatively easy game. More than relatively easy. Very easy game to pick right here, I think. Bears at Cowboys.
At Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys, right?
Well, you know what? I'm for the Cowboys, although I think it's going to be closer than you think. Yeah. Although the Bears look so bad.
I think they're going to blow the Bears out.
Well, I'll go Cowboys. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, both go Cowboys.
Yeah.
All right. Another game. The last game is Monday night. We'll finish this up. Falcons at Saints.
Falcons and Saints.
Yep.
I would like to think that the Falcons have turned the corner, but I'm going to take New Orleans.
You're going to take New Orleans?
Yes.
I'm going to take the Falcons.
All right.
Boy, we got a lot.
We have a lot of difference. We'll both end up 8-8 somehow.
Yeah, somehow or another, it just won't work out.
I hope. But that's there's a perfect example. I wanted to talk a little bit about the Browns. Can you imagine having? I don't want to say that they have bad luck, but they finally got a quarterback who plays like a great game, and now he's out for the year. And on top of it, they got a chance to upset Baltimore with 20 seconds to go, and Pryor gets a taunting call when he goes to hand the ball to the official, and it slips out of his hand and goes and hits one of the guys. I looked at it, I thought, if he was trying, that was a lousy taunt if that's what he was trying to do. Right. I mean, he could have, he just kind of, that's the worst toss to the referee I've ever seen. That's all I can say. He deserved the penalty for a bad toss back to the ref. Mm-hmm. But I don't know what you think about Cleveland, but I mean, I know they're not riding high, but they got a lot of guys that really play with their butts against the wall.
That's a team that's just.
But they're just so.
They were gonna. It's got to be the organization, right? I mean,
snake
come on.
Bitten.
They just they picked Johnny Manziel as their quarterback.
Yeah.
You know, they and then they go out.
Johnny may be back.
On top of that, they go out and get RG3, and pick him up now. Like he's going to be their next new guy. and how fragile he is. I mean, you just throw him down one time and he's out for the season.
Colin Kaepernick is available. They're going to have to get some. They're going to try this guy, and I can't think of his name. The guy, they have a guy off the practice
I feel
squad.
bad for him. Yeah.
But hey, maybe he'll be the godsend that they're waiting for. I don't know, but I'll tell you right now it's been an absolute disaster. And they're going to be getting that Gordon guy back after this game. That is that his name, the receiver.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Josh Gordon.
and he had a heck of a year 2 years ago before he got high all the time. But
well, hopefully he doesn't have a setback.
Well, that's
Because that's what's been going
and
on.
I'm
with
not
these
trying to make
teams.
jokes about it either.
No.
The fact of the matter is,
No, that's not joke. So that pretty much takes care of our NFL
that takes
wrap up.
care of NFL
where
wrap
we
up.
are right now.
And I'll tell you what, while we're on football,
Yeah.
let's talk about the college game. And
Okay.
Florida State got tattooed like I've never
Wow.
seen a team get tattooed. And now
Talk
we got to
about-
find out if Louisville is that good, or if Florida State just got the most hype of any team that wasn't that good that we've ever seen. I don't know.
I've got the latest top 10
All right.
here. I don't want to get
I'm
to the
pretty
top
darn
25.
sure Florida State's not in it.
No surprise, Alabama's number one,
Of
right?
course,
They
but-
still look like the best team in the
Bama, and
country.
I'm going to say Ohio State, too.
No surprise that Urban Meyer, who might be on the same level as
Saban?
Nick Saban,
Yeah.
with his recruiting abilities, and look where he's got Ohio State right back. I mean,
Well-
not that they were that far off, but I mean he's making them a powerhouse year after year after he's been there. The surprise right now is Louisville at number 3.
Well, you know, the
have you seen
quarterback,
Lamar
the
Jackson
quarterback
play?
looks like he's living up to his hype.
Have you seen Lamar Jackson play?
You talking about the quarterback?
Yeah.
He's phenomenal.
I mean, unbelievable.
He's big.
Yeah,
That guy is big.
yes.
I'll tell you what, but that's good stuff.
I mean, he's unbelievable player. Now, Louisville at number 3 is really going to be tested in 2 weeks. They play at Clemson.
Oh wow.
And now that, 3
well,
right now, number
we'll
3.
find out how
that
good
will
they are.
show
They-
us really
if
where
they
they're
can
at.
beat Clemson in Clemson, they're really good
Yep.
because that's a big
in 2
task.
weeks. Number
Wow.
4, again, is who the coach of Michigan is.
Yeah. Are you kidding me?
Look-
Are they 4?
The number 4,
Oh my gosh.
Uh,
Harbaugh.
Jim Harbaugh. Another reason why Michigan has resurrected, you bring in these top coaches who can recruit.
That's the
And
name of the game.
All of a sudden, Urban Meyer in Ohio State. You got, we just mentioned him for Michigan. That makes a big difference, I think.
Well, there's
in
no
recruiting.
question. The big
You gotta,
difference.
how can you compete with those names?
The northern coaches, Harbaugh, Meyer, for them to be able to go down into the South and get players to come up and play
Right.
in what would not be considered to be the easiest climbs. I mean, I give them all the credit in the world. To me, that's going to be the hardest job in
Yeah.
coaching football is recruiting the blue chip players.
I think another surprise in the top 10 here, you got Alabama, Ohio State, Louisville, Michigan, Clemson. Number 6, Houston. Interesting team.
Tell you
Very
what,
interesting.
Not only interesting, but we're doing another cliffhanger. So we're going to. I've got some dope on Houston that I'm going to pass
Ooh,
on
dope?
as we get into the fourth quarter here.
Is that an
So
NCAA violation?
stay with us. I'm lying, by the way. I got nothing to say on Houston.
Don't say
but
that.
We're out of time, so we're going to be right back with the fourth quarter shots from the bench right after this. Shh.
Dope. He's got dope on Houston.
I do remember.
Yeah. I remember him.
Okay, we are back with the fourth and final quarter of shots from the bench here at Gators Dockside in the beautiful Brownwood section of the Villages. Gators Dockside, they have the tastiest sports in town. And we've made our way up to number 6 on the college top 10 right now. And the Houston Cougars.
That's right.
I have nothing to say about the Houston Cougars as they got to be pretty good.
Well, they beat their first game out of the box.
They beat Oklahoma. That's a pretty good win, don't you think?
That's right.
And while I'm sidetracking, I don't mean to sidetrack us on the Cougars, but I got to tip your hat to Oklahoma. How'd you like to start your season off playing Houston and Ohio State? I mean, that's That's throwing it out on the table, don't you think? I mean,
Oh, sure.
say you're 0-2, but hey, if they win their last 12 games, I hope nobody holds it against them. But at least they didn't wait till the last second. They didn't
right.
play, Northwest Missouri at Pine Bluff or something. They're
That's
actually
right.
playing some good football team. So good for them. But I mean, hey, give Houston its due. Obviously, they got a very good offense. Very
You
good
got
offense.
Stanford at number 7 with their pro-style offense.
I have not seen Stanford, but they always disappoint me because they play a team that beats them up on the line, and they have trouble moving the ball offensively. We'll see where it goes this
Well,
year.
whenever you mention Stanford, you got to be looking at Christian McCaffrey,
but
all-purpose running back for.
he's a great player. But I want to. Who have they played so far?
I don't know their
See,
schedule.
I think
didn't look it up.
they start off with a cheesy, easy schedule,
Yeah.
and then they start running into. Well, I don't even know who the powers are. I guess you're going to have to say that UCLA's good this year. And Washington's going to be
Washington's
decent.
number one right now
USC
in
will
the
probably be
Pac-12.
decent. Oregon, of course. I mean, so
Yeah.
they got a road to hoe. But
Washington
hey,
right now seems to be they're number 9. Michigan State's number 8. Washington 9. And Texas A&M
Let's
is
talk-
is number.
Let's
10.
let's talk about Michigan State because I thought they played a very, very good football game against Notre Dame. I think they got a little lax at the end and started to, sit back a little bit. But I think that they've got some real horses in their line. They look like they're pretty stocked.
Yeah. After we get through the first top 10, we always like to talk about where are the Florida teams sitting here. Florida State.
They're in the second 10.
After they're beaten, they were getting destroyed. Okay.
Yeah, but they're in
should
the
the team
second 10.
That's a question I have for you. Well, of course, let me just say,
Yeah.
Florida State's number 13,
Yeah.
Miami's number 15. They're the team on the rise.
And Florida's 16, right?
And Florida's 19.
19. Okay.
Depending on which poll you look at.
All right.
It could be 16.
Well, my
Sorry,
poll,
Florida fans.
they're up higher.
All right, your polls are up high. You must be a Florida poll.
It's a Florida poll. I'll tell you what.
But listen, should a team that gets beat that bad, I mean destroyed, should they still be 13 in the country? Should they?
Well, it depends on how you look at it. The fact of the matter is it only one game, or is it how badly they got beaten one game? To me,
When we're talking a
to
poll
me,
here,
well, they were second, right?
They were second.
And they fell 11 spots. That's a pretty significant plummet. Now,
Maybe I think they should fall even more. When you get beat
Well-
like that, I mean, come on, you're not even
but
you're
they
not even showing up.
they got beat
How
by
does
the
that happen?
third team in the country. So I mean, the fact is, it's
Yeah.
a wash. After a while, it doesn't matter if it's 45-15 or 60-20. I mean,
Right.
what difference does it make? Then the fact of the matter is, what they did was they shot themselves in the foot for competing for the national championship. If they get their act together,
Well, I had a
it's going to
couple
be
of
tough to recover.
I had a
from
couple
that.
of Florida fans give me a couple of dollars to say that. That's the only reason I said it.
All
'Cause
right.
I really don't care.
Well, I'll tell you what, Miami might be as good as any of the other teams. Miami's pretty good, I
Yeah.
think. So we'll see where
Yeah.
that gets them.
So, we can get into the top 25, but I mean, that's the ones that really matter right now. Into that. I'm really looking forward to that Louisville Clemson game right now. Right now, that's the
Clemson,
game to watch in college football
that'll
the
be
next couple of
that'll be
weeks.
absolutely spectacular.
Yeah.
That'll be a great. We got a
Yes.
fan. Well, that's what we're talking about. We got a Clemson fan here.
Yeah,
But
that's
those are
great.
two great teams that are going to go at it.
That game's going to go a long way to determine who's going to be in the national title game this year.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what it's all about. Louisville, I'd like to see them play a little more before I start crowning them as being great. Now they did beat the tar out of Florida State, but if they can, like I said, you can go into Clemson and win a game. You're pretty good.
Maybe
I don't
Teddy
think they can do it.
Bridgewater is in disguise as Lamar Jackson, and he's trying to lead them down the field. Maybe that's what's
Teddy
going on.
Bridgewater. But Ted, there's
didn't
a
do too
question.
bad with-
Don't mean to get sidetracked, but there's your question. Who's going to be the quarterback when Teddy Bridgewater comes back?
I
Teddy
know.
or
hey, yes, that's a good question. If Sam Bradford has a fantastic season,
don't we all love a
and,
good quarterback controversy?
and Teddy Bridgewater isn't quite ready for training camp, we got a quarterback controversy in
That's
Minnesota.
right.
Really,
How about that?
I mean, from what I've seen of Teddy, I like the kid. I like, he's getting better all the time. He is. But you know what? He's never taken shots down the field like Bradford does. I've never seen him throw those kind of one after another.
Well,
and this kid, how about Stephon Diggs?
Yeah,
the wide receiver is becoming a superstar in the making for the Vikings.
Well, I think Bridgewater was more of a control the ball quarterback. I think you'll find, and I might be wrong, Brady Bradford will go crazy, but you're going to see a couple games where Sam's going to throw a few interceptions. Sam zings it. Sam's not afraid to throw it down there.
He's a pretty accurate thrower.
But
I mean, he's
the
close
good news,
to 60%.
The good news for the Vikings now is whoever wins their. I'll tell you what. I can think of a team in Cleveland that would be glad to take one of their extra quarterbacks if they're willing to part ways with. Right now the Brands would be crying with joy if they could get their hands on Bridgewater or Bradford. But that I can't believe how bad of luck they've had. But like I said, we've talked football. We got the Ryder Cup now just around the corner. Let's talk about the Ryder Cup team.
Well, this week we've got the Tour Championship.
Okay, and was that the final?
That's the final.
And that's the FedEx Cup.
30 players qualified after the first three of the FedEx Cup.
So 30 men standing, and this is it.
30 men standing.
The
top players in the Tour Championship, Ryan Jason Day is number 1, Dustin Johnson number 2. This one I think is really interesting to me. Remember a couple of years ago when Billy Herschel, the reason the U.S. picks after this tournament, we know that they pick their last player. They have one more player to pick.
They got one more to go.
We're going to be talking about in a minute.
Yeah.
The U.S. captain, Davis Love III,
yeah,
has one more player to pick. So a couple of years ago, they had picked all their players before the Tour Championship, and then Billy Herschel wins the whole thing, wins the Tour Championship, gets all the points for the FedEx Cup,
I remember
and he's
that.
not on the team.
Not on the team.
Do you know the Euros have someone almost in that same position right now?
Who's that?
Paul Casey.
Paul Casey's not on their. He's not on their squad.
He's not on their squad.
He's coming second, like in the last 3 tournaments.
He is not on the Euro squad. Listen
I
to
didn't
this.
realize that.
I just happened to find this out before I came in here. He is ranked in the points coming into the last Tour Championship.
Wow, that makes.
He is number 3 in the points for the Tour Championship.
Yeah.
And he could absolutely pull. He's getting close to pulling a Billy Herschel. He's already close enough.
Pull the Herschel.
He's not on their
like
team.
That.
He is not on the Euros team.
How about, do you have the European team there? Is
Yes.
Brendan Grace on it? Because that's a great player, too. I didn't think he was on it.
Not.
I mean, can you imagine the European team without Brendan Grace or
Here's
Paul
the Euro
Casey?
team. They got McElroy, Justin Rose, Henrik Stenson, of course.
All right, those
are your
three,
top 3.
those three
Danny
you
Willett,
expect.
number 4, Masters
He earned
champion.
it. He earned it.
Sergio Garcia.
He earned it.
Andy Sullivan, Chris Wood, Matthew Fitzpatrick,
Now
Rafa Cabrera Bella,
Now you're naming
Martin
guy.
Kamer,
Cabrera
and
Bella.
Lee Westward. Thomas Peters.
Westwood sounds like a captain's sympathy pick.
Peters, Kamer, and Westbrook are captain's pick.
Well,
They only have 3 captain's pick. We have 4. I don't know how
well, then we're going to win. No, but the fact of the matter is, it's amazing that you talked about Paul Casey, who I think has been playing the last month as good as anybody on the tour.
Absolutely, and you know what?
And Brendan Grace has been in the top 10 like 4 times in our majors.
They picked all their players before the Tour Championship,
wow.
the U.S. Tour Championship. Here's Paul Casey sitting at number 3. He's pulling a Billy Herschel. He's pulling a Billy Herschel.
Well,
on the Euros.
Well,
they're looking down their list going, oh, I want Martin Kamer ahead of Paul Casey? Are you kidding me? I think
that they. I can't believe that they took Keimer over Casey, and that's not a knock at Keimer. I just don't think he's had that good a year.
Or even Lee Westwood, for that matter.
Westwood, he had I think a couple big.
He's got experience.
Yeah, that's not what you're supposed to pick on.
Yeah.
You're supposed to pick on who earns it and who deserves it.
So here we are. Again, we've got the top 30 players in the FedEx Cup. Again, Jason Day, Dustin Johnson, Paul Casey, Adam Scott, number 4, Jimmy Walker, number 5, Jordan Spieth, number 6, Rory McIlroy, number 7, Patrick Reed, number 8. Now, these top 8 players have the best chance to win the Tour Championship. When you start getting into the 9, 10, 11, 12 players, they still could, but it gets harder.
Oh, it gets very hard.
It gets much harder.
Those guys have earned their spots. Yeah, they've earned their spots.
So the U.S. has one more player to pick to fill out their team, which is Dustin Johnson, Jordan Spieth, Jimmy Walker, Patrick Reed, J.B. Holmes, Zach Johnson, Brooks Koepka, Matt Kuchar, Phil Mickelson, Brett Snedeker, and Ricky Fowler. One more captain pick after this tournament. who's the favorite right now, where he sits going in, is Bubba Watson at number 12 in the FedEx standings.
He'd have a real beef if they don't pick him, because I think
he was out practicing with the team this past week as well too. All right, now who's the other guys that could supplant Watson? Bubba Watson,
not Tiger Woods.
Not Tiger, although Tiger Woods is on the team as a vice,
and that's right.
captain.
He's a playing coach, or so he's not non-playing.
And he will be
coach.
coming back for his first tournament, October 13th or something. His first tournament. It's worth watching. Just those who like Tiger Woods. But another guy I think who has a possible shot of getting on the team here. I like. Well, you got Ryan Moore, who's had a really good summer.
Ryan Moore
he
had a win in the last 6 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. So he got to keep an eye on him.
Ryan Moore's solid.
Another couple of guys are Daniel Berger.
Yeah.
He's up there in the standings. Gary Woodland is another guy.
Yeah.
Roberto Castro is another guy who's always popping up.
He can't be American with Roberto Castro. No, that's not an American name.
Oh, absolutely is.
Son of a gun.
He's from he's a Spanish guy from Texas.
Well, I'll tell you what. Since we're going to be wrapping up, tell me you pick it. You pick who you think it's going to be.
I think it's going to be Bubba Watson.
Well, I think it's going to be Bubba Watson.
Okay.
So, but I'll tell you what. Well, we're not we're not very good at picking football games. So we'll see how we're picking Ryder.
But you know what? It's going to be played in the United States this year at Hazelton in Minnesota. Hazeltine National.
So I'll tell you what. Well, we've
that's going to be a tough match.
We've closed. I'll tell you what. We'll be excited to see where we take this next week. But I'll tell you what. We're out of time. So we will be back next week with another edition of Shots from the Bench here at Gators Dockside. Thank you so much for being with us. Good night.
I had no idea we were done.
Oh, yeah. Greg was like...
Yeah? I had no idea.
What?
I had no idea.
What?
Hey, that filled in pretty good, everything we did.
Everything.